Two tantalising games await us on Sunday in the NBL. The first one being the Cairns Taipans visiting the Sydney Kings, and then Adelaide travelling to John Cain to face Melbourne United. Before we dive in, subscribe, like, and once you've watched, don't forget to comment and let us know your tips for Sunday and what you'll be backing. Now, jump right into it. A bit of an injury-affected game this will be between the Kings and Cairns. Now, as we can see, the head of the snake has been taken off in Cairns, with Taran Armstrong out this week and Tanner Groves out for 3 to 4 weeks, really hurting the chances of Cairns, who looked impressive in round 3. Now, not quite sure if the Taipans will stand up against the Kings, even with Jalen Adams also under an injury cloud heading into this one. But what gives Sydney the edge here is their bench. Now, their bench scored 45 points in their loss to Adelaide on Friday night and ranked second in the league with 33.5 points from their bench. That's been Sydney's thing all year, is how much depth they have. They've just got to make it work and turn it into some more consistent wins. Now, the mismatch here for me is definitely Cam Oliver, Xavier Cooks and Kelly LePepe going up against a Groveless Cairns with, of course, Gack and Warnerberg doing their thing. But I just believe this brute strength and size of Sydney is going to give them even more second chance points and really win that battle in the paint. Now, the line is pretty big in this one at 7.5 and still waiting on some player props to come through on the markets, but I'm backing the Kings here to cover. They're going to bounce back from that little bit of a poor shooting performance in Adelaide and their loss, and will need to have a huge one against Cairns without Armstrong there. Now, also be diving into some rebound props there for Sydney as well, with the likes of Groves being out and Sydney being so strong. Hopefully Xavier Cooks will be a little bit more healthy as well, but definitely Cam Oliver and Kelly LePepe looked very, very strong under the boards in Adelaide and will do a better job against Cairns at home at Qudos Bank Arena. Now, game 2, even more tantalising than the first, with Adelaide on a 3-0 run, knocking off a couple of the big teams in the Hawks and the Sydney Kings. Now, what a monster Montrezl Harrell is. Look, he does a lot of work. He got 14 rebounds and close, I think it was 16, 18 points against the Kings. But it's the momentum that he brings and the ability to lift his team and really pull them along with really big, monstrous plays. Now, it hasn't all been Harrell, though. DJ Vasiljevic was on absolute fire against the Kings, scored 26, I believe, and also had surprisingly 7 rebounds in that game. So he's really putting the work and lifting, and you see him running around the court and playing off these big screens that are being set. Isaac Humphries has also been incredible for the Hawks in the last few games and has really started to find his role on the back of Harrell moving into the lineup. And you can't forget Kendrick Davis also popping up where needed and putting up some big points over the last couple of weeks. So you can hear in the tone of my voice, I like Adelaide in this game, and they're getting a 5.5 point start, which I believe they'll cover and may be even a shock to win this game and go on a 4-0 run. Now, the weakness for Melbourne has been Rob Lowe and Marcus Lee, and now they're going to come up against the likes of Humphries and Monster Montrez. So that's where the matchup will be. Look for Harrell to go over his rebound total as well in this one, and Adelaide to cover. So we like the Kings to cover as the favourite, Adelaide to cover as the dog, and be diving into both of those teams and their rebound player props in their specific matchups. They're your 2 best bets for Sunday's MB. Now just remember, gamble responsibly and happy punting.